Welcome back to Inside Toronto Real Estate on Rogers TV. I'm your host, Brian Prasad. On today's show, we're talking about investing in pre-construction condo. So if you're looking at buying a pre-construction condo, you're looking at some floor plans, you're wondering where's a good place to invest, now's the time to call. We have no better people to answer your questions than Keith Graham from City Accord Realty and Callum Ross from, you're the Senior Vice President of the Mortgage Center. And thank you again for coming on. And Keith, thank you for coming on as well. You know, Keith, I know you deal with a lot of what we call VIP clients. And I also notice this at condos, they always launch in 4 or 5 different launches. They have a launch, they have another launch, they have another launch. And not all the time people are able to get the super wicked prices. And you were talking about that. You have to get in early. How does someone get, or why do developers launch 4 or 5 times, first of all?
Oh boy, the developers, what they want to maximize the percentage of sales that they're going to be making. Mm-hmm. So they're looking for a certain percentage off the first VIP group that's coming in. Mm-hmm. They'll have a broker event where the brokers think they're the first group coming in. Uh-huh. And then there's going to be the grand opening where the people are, again, they're thinking they're the first ones coming in, and the preview opening. So, you know, it's a real challenge to try and figure out in today's day and market, because most of the people out there are basically saying that they are a VIP agent and that they're going to get you into one of these events in the very beginning. You just don't know if you're actually getting in from at the very beginning, and you're getting the lowest price. That's right.
Because you get in, right?
Well, you know, we specialize in this. We're basically my side of the industry, at least. We're not dealing with the end users. We're not dealing with second-time buyers. Mm-hmm. I'm dealing strictly with investors who have portfolios of at least 6 or 7 units, and they demand to get in at the very beginning. And when we're doing a bulk sales event, they demand on getting the best deal.
So, could you explain, you know, how this worked? X2 was probably one of the most famous launches. Oh. Was that infamous maybe? Yeah. I know a lot of real estate agents were very mad at what happened. It was a whole fiasco. Yes. And really, it was one brokerage that seems to be marketing that, and one blower. So they have an MO. How did they work that thing? Is that the VIP launch that we're seeing, or is that just a broker's event? Or
I think that's just a buildup of hype, really. Okay. And it's got more people excited about what's happening in the industry as a whole, and but less of the investors who are tried and tested and are there for the long term are really looking at something like that. They're looking at developments. Again, they want to get in the very beginning, and they want to make sure that they're getting a good deal. Mm-hmm. But when there's a lot of hype driven into a project like something like that, then they feel like they're not that much different than anybody else. So, but it was successful, and apparently a number of units were sold in the very beginning, and hopefully they held on to those sales.
I think you brought up a very good point here, Brian, and particularly in real estate investing. And I mean, you know, taking the time to do your research, because there's perception and there's reality, and sometimes perception and reality don't align. And you know, I think the purpose of these pre-marketing launches, I'm not directly involved with builders, and I realize that, you know, you have to be respectful of the relationships. You know, with all due respect, you know, they're creating the perception that everyone's a VIP, and each group that's coming in is each viewing themselves as the privileged group. And I think that, you know, we all realize in working with real estate investors and in being real estate investors ourselves that, you know, you have to ask the question to differentiate the perception from the reality.
Well, you can get an honest answer. I mean, if you're speaking directly to the agent for the developer, and you're putting it right on the line and say, you know, is this the original price? Am I coming in the beginning, or was there an event prior to? That agent has a responsibility to answer to you honestly, and then that's pretty much the only way you're going to find out.
Yes. So from the super VIP launches where you send your clients to the regular VIP launches, what kind of markup do we see? Or is it a markup, or is it just availability?
There's always a markup.
Okay, there's always a markup.
There's always a markup, because you have to understand that, you know, if the developer is working something out so that a group of people are going to be purchasing 5, 10, 15% of the available product. If that price has not been increased over the 10-day period of their conditional rescission period, then they have no interest in keeping it. If they're going to just remarket it at the exact same price, a lot of these people are going to fall out. They're going to cancel the deal within the 10 days.
So it's important for investors that during the 10 days that they know they have a deal.
Exactly.
Otherwise,
they have to know that the price has gone up.
Perfect timing again because we got to go to break. You're watching Inside Toronto Real Estate live on Rogers TV. We're coming to you from the Distillery District. Folks, if you have a question about investing in pre-construction condos, give Keith and Callum a call, 416-446-7090. We'll be right back.